Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Titan Tavern. My name is Tristan. I am your host, and let's all sit down and talk about what's new with the NFL. Now, of course, with most recent events happening, the Kansas City Chiefs are the new Super Bowl champions, and with that, they are officially the new Dynasty. And with that news today, I'm going to be discussing what is the effects for all the other teams in the NFL with a brand new dynasty coming to us. So of course there are more teams that are affected than others by this. You have, for example, the AFC South teams, the Tennessee Titans and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Both teams had their chance to take down the Kansas City Chiefs in recent years in the playoffs. Neither of them succeeded, sadly. And of course, you have the Houston Texans as well as the Indianapolis Colts. And really, with them, they're just going to keep rebuilding. Both of them have incredible starting quarterbacks. And pretty much they've got bright futures if they keep building correctly. I would say Houston is going to be a big thorn in Kansas City in the future within the next year or so. I'd probably give it about 2 years, but I do think they're going to be competitive. But really, other than that, the Titans are watching another team be super successful while we are just meandering about firing a head coach that nobody understood the reason why, other than apparently he just didn't get along with the owner and the general manager, but that's another topic for another day. You have teams like the AFC North, which the Cincinnati Bengals, of course, had to watch the Kansas City Chiefs go to the Super Bowl, and they were unable to stop them this time at all, not even getting a chance in the playoffs this time. And of course, they had to watch their new rival, get another Super Bowl ring. The Pittsburgh Steelers, you were just kind of there. Let's be honest with you. You were just kind of there. Nobody really expected much or anything, have y'all? I mean, that's fair. Hopefully, y'all can get out of the mediocrity spot, just like my team is. Or hopefully you can just start being bad and tank properly, like my team needs to learn as well. Of course, you have the Cleveland Browns. And really with Cleveland, your playoff hopes were so questionable this season. And of course, you got a lot of drama going on, more drama going on with Deshaun Watson. And let's be honest, y'all were just kind of happy to make the playoffs with 4 different starting quarterbacks. And sadly, Joe Flacco did let y'all down at the end. But I will say, hats off to y'all. That was a downright incredible season watching y'all. But really, for you, for the Steelers, it's pretty much the same thing. Y'all have got a lot of question marks going into next season, like the most recent drama with Deshaun Watson. You've got whenever Nick Chubb's come back, is he gonna be his old dominant self? We all hope so, because he's one of the best running backs in the league, except for somebody like Christian McCaffrey. And with that, the only other remaining team in the AFC North is the Baltimore Ravens, and all I have to say is you and another team in particular that I'm going to be talking about later, this was y'all's season to do it. The Kansas City Chiefs were vulnerable, and y'all let it slip away, and y'all could have gotten to the Super Bowl. Y'all were so close to this. And I mean so close. You even shut the Kansas City Chiefs out in the second half entirely. But you guys couldn't score any points. And with that, you're never going to win a game if you can't score points. I mean, come on. You have one of the best kickers in the league, and you couldn't even get him at a field goal range almost the entire game. But I gotta say, for y'all, this one has to hurt. But there's another team that I think is hurting a lot worse. But for the Ravens watching this, another missed opportunity to go to the Super Bowl and potentially win another one. Would have been a little funny because it would have been another Super Bowl rematch just from previous years, where the last time y'all would have won, would the same outcome would have happened? I don't know. And then, of course, you've got the AFC East, where a lot of teams are looking at the Chiefs dynasty and just sad. Of course, you have the New England Patriots. And they're just watching another team become another dynasty, taking over their helm as what used to be the most hated team in the NFL. And, well, now the hate is no longer on them. It hasn't been for a few years, ever since Tom Brady left. So all they have to do is just sit back and they can just watch as the Chiefs win more Super Bowls as they sit down with their 6 rings that they have won. Yeah, it's not really bothering them. It's just, their team isn't in a good spot right now. But with their new head coach, I think they do have some promise. They just get a lot of work to do. But really, for them, oh well. They've won more Super Bowls than most teams have been to, than more teams that have, been to the Super Bowl. I'm just kidding. I know that's wrong. No, they've just won a lot of championships. They are perfectly content with whatever they are doing. The fans may not be, but that's a different story. You got the Miami Dolphins, who, let's face it, they now have the longest drought without a playoff victory in the NFL. The Jets have more recent playoff victory in the NFL. Teams like the Jets and the Cardinals, that's not really good company to be in whenever you haven't won a playoff game in quite some time, and your team really hasn't been all that relevant much, except for the occasional making the playoffs, but just downright blowing it every time. Reminds me of a lot of teams. But other than that, you had to watch the Kansas City Chiefs, who beat you in Germany, beat you again in -degree weather. Turns out Dolphins really don't like the cold. They also can't perform in Germany either. Then, of course, you have the New York Jets. And this season had to hurt for y'all, because y'all's defense basically gave out halfway through the season. Y'all had hope, y'all had chances, yet nothing could go right ever since the first game against another team. But really, this season, and just watching another team be great and have a dynasty, well, at least it's not in this division. It's not in y'all's division this time. And of course, with that, we go to the team that is by far the most affected by this and the most upset, I have to say. And it's one of my favorite teams, as well as the Titans, and another two teams that I do love cheering for. And that is, of course, the Buffalo Bills. The Bills just have to be sad at this point. Patrick Mahomes has gone to as many Super Bowls in his career that y'all have in the entire organization's history. And he has a better win-loss ratio than y'all as an organization. And he is not even 30 years old yet. This season truly felt, as somebody that does enjoy rooting for them, this season felt different after what felt like a sheer collapse, and then the firing of your offensive coordinator, and then everything seemingly going better. It felt like this was it for this season, because y'all had Kansas City at home. Y'all had them. Y'all gave them probably other than the 49ers, y'all were the most difficult opponent for them. But of course, other than putting up a great fight against the Kansas City Chiefs, the Buffalo Bills, well, sadly, they have to watch another great QB that they seem to go up against twice every year. Kinda like somebody that used to be in their division. Well, maybe the parallels aren't impossible here. Maybe we do just have the next Tom Brady. But we never know. As far as it goes for NFC teams that are affected, well, before we get to the NFC team, of course, we have to talk about the Chiefs division, the AFC West. And of course, the Raiders, I don't really know how you want to feel. You just watch your a divisional rival not only win another Super Bowl, but also win it in your stadium, in your house. I don't really know how to describe that. I feel like that has to hurt a lot, though. As far as the Chargers go, I don't know. I think you guys ain't worried about the Chiefs. I think y'all are just worried about, hopefully, finally, a new head coach with Jim Harbaugh can maybe get something going with the Chargers, and y'all won't charge your way every season again. And as far as the Broncos go, I mean, y'all ended y'all's losing streak against the Kansas City Chiefs, but you just have to watch them, and you also had to watch John Elway, legendary Denver Bronco, give the Kansas City Chiefs a Super Bowl trophy. You had to watch him hand it over, the Lombardi trophy, to the Chiefs. Yeah, there's a lot of spite and a lot of hate going on to the Chiefs from divisional opponents, but I think that's pretty standard. And as far as it goes for any NFC teams that are affected, honestly, the only ones that I would say are disappointed is the Detroit Lions, who were sadly defeated by the San Francisco 49ers, because I really do think if the Detroit Lions beat San Fran in San Francisco, I think with everything that was going on, I think they would have beat the Chiefs. And the season would have ended just how it began. craziness ensues. But I think Detroit would have won the Super Bowl, so this one has to hurt watching their closest chance get taken away from them because they choked the game away. The only other teams I would say would be affected is the Dallas Cowboys, because again, they're always wrong about it's our season. The Philadelphia Eagles, of course, had to watch Kansas City win back-to-backs. And, well, of course, it's not like the Chiefs were just given the Super Bowl last year. Nope, they had to face the Philadelphia Eagles in the Super Bowl last season, and the Chiefs won as well. So they had to watch the team that beat them last season win again. So that one had to hurt too, I bet. And they're just sitting there thinking, who can beat the Chiefs? Because apparently they cannot. And especially neither, can this other team. The only other team in the NFC that's really affected by the Chiefs, the San Francisco 49ers. Y'all have had two separate opportunities to win a Super Bowl, and they were both against the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. Y'all cannot beat Patrick Mahomes. I'm sorry, but I mean, come on, how unlikely is it that within a 4-year span, essentially, the Kansas City Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers make the Super Bowl twice, face each other twice, but the outcome is the same both times? San Fran, I don't know what y'all are going to do about your team. I think you stick with Brock Purdy. I think he gives you the best chance. But as far as it goes for everything else, y'all have got to look into other things. I know they've already fired their defensive coordinator, Steve Wilkes. I hope he gets another chance, because he was good. The only thing is, for some odd reason, he decided to blitz Patrick Mahomes the second half. And that's something that I feel like we've already learned that you just don't do. There are certain quarterbacks that just destroy the blitz. And unfortunately, they were against one of the quarterbacks that is just too good against the blitz to be taken down so easily. I think if they would have stuck with what they were doing in the first half defensively, I think by far they would have won. It would have been, Chiefs wouldn't have gotten 13 points. But then again, of course, you also leave special teams up. Special teams really was a massive blunder, and that just goes to show, you need to beat a team like the Chiefs. You need to beat them, not just offensively, but defensively and with special teams. You cannot just beat them with one or just two out of the three. You have to beat them both. You have to beat them with all three. Other than that, until that is done, I don't see a team taking down the Chiefs in the playoffs. But I would say by far the most disappointed teams this season, and the most disappointed teams looking at the new dynasty that is the Kansas City Chiefs, has to be not only the Buffalo Bills, the Baltimore Ravens, and the San Francisco 49ers, but then again, the San Francisco 49ers is also a reason why we have this dynasty now, after being beaten twice. And thank y'all for watching. If y'all liked, please follow, like, subscribe, share, comment down below what your thoughts are, what you think, Am I correct? Am I incorrect? And of course, as always, please remember, pay your tab and tighten up, baby.